Boost Boerne Business, sponsored by Primetime Sports Cardz.
And welcome to a very special edition of Boost Boerne Business. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think you tuned into something I think is going to be very, very fun. I am here with Jason Zamora. Yes, you know him for what you do. Jason, how are you, sir?
I am fine, thank you.
Live Oak, of course, is what we're talking about. Live Oak Investors, Private Wealth Management. You hear them all the time here on Boerne Radio. I want to congratulate you, though, sir, because I know you had a dream. You got a degree to do what you do.
Yes.
But you said, you know what? I want to do something else.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. And man, I have no idea at this moment. We're still in the wealth management business, and I just had an amazing idea to open a card shop.
Yeah. Well, let's say it. Primetime Sports Cardz.
Primetime Sports Cardz, yeah.
Brand new location, right there on I-10.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Tell us where it's at.
Yeah, Napa Oak Center,
Yep.
right there, right before Fair Oaks. I think it's exit 546. You know, most people know the landmarks of Mirasol next to it.
So Mexican and Italian, your choice.
And cards. Right next to a Pilates studio, Hot Works, a children's orthodontics.
Love your neighbor. That's what you're doing right there.
Yeah.
All right, so you found this. How did you find that place? Why there?
So for 4 years, I had two buddies that work at the shop. We went round and round. I should say they listened. I talked a lot about what I wanted to do, and they're like, whatever, it's not going to happen. So I kind of pushed it, pulled it, pushed it, pulled it. And the cool thing about it was, I remember going to bed one night and I told Samantha, I said, the only way I'm going to do this is if I get some type of sign, right?
Here it comes.
Like I'll show him.
Yeah.
And go to bed. Next day I finish up at the office doing my real job. And it's like 4. I was like, I'm going to head over to Free Roam. I love Free Roam when there's no one there. Jeremy's not going to like to hear that, but I do. It's really quiet. I can grab a beer, sit in the corner like a coffee, and just think. And so I go in there, I grab a beer, I go to the corner, and I sit there. And this guy, Tom, buddy of mine, walks in, and he's like, hey, Jason, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, man, hold on. I got some questions for you. I'm going to grab a beer real quick. And I'm thinking, oh,
here we go.
I don't want to talk work, market's closed, whatever. And so he comes back and he sets the beer on the table. And he looks at me and he's like, you gonna ever open that card shop?
Really?
And I mean, I kind of like glance and look around.
Am I getting punked?
Like, yeah, what's the deal here? Is this a setup? And I remember immediately I just sent Samantha a text and I'm like, we're doing it. I went home. I had a place, you know, and Jared, who's an amazing realtor here, said, and we had already kind of agreed on a location. And I went and looked at it, and Samantha went with me. And of course, you know, we're like, oh, this goes here, this goes there. You know, we can do this here, and you know, it's going to be custom. And since it's our first shop and we don't know what we're doing, this is the perfect location. So I go back to the office and I Google one last time, retail space for lease, San Antonio, Boerne, go. And right at the top of the list comes out this spot, and it's Fulcrum Properties. It's right there, and it says, just available, old jewelry store, available space, blah, blah, blah. Give us a call. So I pick up the phone and I call, and Ryan, who, God bless him, had to deal with me in the whole lease process, but he said, hey, you know, are you calling about the space in Napa Oaks? I said, I am. I said, that shopping center is amazing. I used to live there in the Napa Oaks neighborhood behind there before we moved to Boerne. And I said, what's the deal with the shop? And he was like, oh man, are you a jeweler? And I'm like, no, I'm not a jeweler. You know, and he goes, well, what do you plan on doing? And, you know, when you're opening a hobby shop and a card shop, it's not like something you just want to publicize, right? You want to wait and give it kind of a novelty feel when you do it, like, oh, that was a great idea, right? And so I didn't really want to tell him, but I was like, okay, I'm opening up a card shop, a high-end hobby shop. And he's like, oh my God, can you meet me there in 40 minutes? He's like, I'm leaving Alamo Heights right now. So literally this all happened within about an hour's time.
Wow.
So he gets there, I open the door, I walk in, and I'm like, this is it.
You knew it.
The gentleman that had been there before, I don't know what happened. I don't really want to share all the details because I do know some, but
right.
Up and left is what I'll say.
Okay.
Behind he left about $250,000 build out. The most immaculate jewelry cases you could ever want.
You got to keep the cases.
I got to keep everything in the store. And when I say everything, I mean At that point, there was a decanter set. There were encyclopedias. Like my kids actually got to learn what an encyclopedia is. There was coffee cups, staplers, printers, label makers.
Yeah. But the cases alone, though, for what you're doing, you're showcasing these. It's prime time.
Oh, man. It was.
What a gift.
Yeah. And so, again, these guys whose time I had wasted for 3 years, or I thought I was, were a phone call away. I'm like, I found the space. This is it. And, you know, it was considerably more expensive than the original spot. And I just said, I got to do it.
Yeah.
Like too many things went right. And every time somebody comes into the shop now, I will say, you know, 5 weeks into it, they either say two things. I'm so glad we finally have a card shop here in Boerne.
Yeah.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. Or this is the nicest card shop I've ever been in my entire life.
Congratulations.
And so those two things right there are amazing. And I pay attention more to the first one. So the community itself never had like a hobby shop. And I remember as a kid, even explaining this to my son Braden and my daughter Blakely, like, I know this sounds weird, but your dad used to ride a bike across town with no phone, no nothing.
Right.
Stop at a convenience store, get a Coke, and go to a card shop, and then drive all the way back.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just one of those things that the community needed. And every single day that we're open, you really realize that, because the conversations are priceless. It's like managing money. I mean, the best thing about managing money is the people, the behavior and personality you deal with. And the same thing there. I mean, you should see the collections we've had, the stories we've heard, fathers, grandfathers passing on things that their fathers and grandfathers gave them. It's just full circle, man.
It's beautiful. Well,
Crazy.
Congratulations. Is your son into it too?
So if he was sitting here, he would tell you that he is the reason why Primetime Sports Cardz exists. And I probably couldn't, if I was being really honest, deny him that truth, because at 7, say 6 or 7, about the same time I was collecting, he started getting into Pokemon cards. And I missed Pokemon. That wasn't part of my childhood. It was G.I. Joe, Star Wars, like we've talked about before. It was nothing of Pokemon or Beanie Babies, any of that. And so I ended up back in these stores that still had that old nostalgic, oh my God, there's 20 million things in here, from a signed basketball to shoes. You know, you can almost close your eyes and think of any card shop you've ever been in. And what's unique about ours is it doesn't look anything like that.
Correct. There's a smell that comes with those other places.
And I could say our place smells really good. It's a little bougie. My wife always has candles in there, and it's just a cool spot. But he is really the reason why I got back into the hobby and started paying $700 for a box of cards and started collecting cards. And, you know, it's the chase. So if you think about Walmart that we have here, Walgreens even, there's boxes of cards that are on sale. They call those retail, right? They're not hobby because they're not sold in a hobby shop. And you can buy those cards for $35 a box. In that $35 box, though, you could have a $5,000 card. And so people will hear that and they're like, there's no way. What's the gimmick? What's the slogan?
Have you had that experience then?
Yeah, I've had it personally, yes. And then we've actually had people in the store, you know, as most recent, like George Hill, you know, retired Spur, and we'll talk about that later. But I have been in a position where I've opened a pack of cards and there's a $5,000 card. Now, mind you, Braden opened the cards. He's got the hot hand. So has Blakely. Blakely and Braden have both pulled really, really good, expensive cards. The issue with me is that I usually pull cards that I want to keep. And, you know, most people pull cards that they want to sell because they're like, oh my God, Barron would love this. Oh my God, the public would love it. You know, whether it's like Bo Nix or Patrick Mahomes or, you know, something really good. I'm always pulling like my players, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to make anything off of this. I got to keep the card.
I got to keep it.
Yeah.
Well, then I have to ask you then, what are you keeping right now that you go, oh, I got this?
So unfortunately, since 1996, I've been one of the biggest Atlanta Falcon fans.
I'm sorry.
And we don't need to bring up the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. I mean, that's just builds character, right?
The owner came down to the field.
And so for the last 2 years, it's been very expensive because I really have tried to collect every single Bijan Robinson card. And then last year we had Michael Penix. And the thing in the hobby is really the rookie cards, right? Who's going to do the best, who's doing the best, who could potentially be the next GOAT, right? Next Tom Brady, Joe Montana, et cetera. And that's the whole thing. Okay. So everybody, though, has their own PC is what they call it, their personal collection, whether it's Michael Jordan or LeBron or, you know, Mickey Mantle's.
So it's not necessarily the value of that card. It's personal to you.
Correct.
Yeah, I love it.
But, you know, if you are collecting these people that are relatively new, they come with a pretty hefty price tag. And that's where, when George came into the shop.
George Hill,
yeah. I was actually on a plane on my way to Atlanta to watch a game. And I just watched it through the security cameras. But he came in, and I know this is going to sound weird, but the box that he bought retails for $17,999. So that's what you got to do, number one. You got to buy that box. And then the second thing is, there may or may not be anything that's really valuable in there to make up that money.
It's love.
Yeah, so he's just like, it's that chase, and he gets after it. And so all of a sudden he's pulling all these cards. Well, then there's a Larry Bird auto, and then there's a Steph Curry auto championship patch.
For those that don't know what you just said.
What I just said in plain English means there was a basketball card by Steph Curry, by far probably the best three-point shooter of all time. Mm-hmm. He had autographed it on card, not on a piece of sticker that was stuck on there, but on card. When you're in an NBA or an NFL team and you win a championship, you typically have like a little bit of a gold badge on your jersey. In the NBA, they have a little sticker on the back of their jersey, and it has a number. And the number is the number of championships that you've won. So in that card was the number 6.
Wow.
And it was gold because he had won a championship. So to have a game-worn Steph Curry auto out of a flawless box is, I mean, it'll definitely be over 6 digits. It's probably anywhere from, I'd say, 100 to 250. And I can't disclose exactly what George has been offered, but I know it's been well over 6 figures for that card.
Here's a guy I would think you're investing in cards. Mm-hmm. Not cars, but cards.
Exactly.
By the way, with a Z at the end.
Yes.
You have to so let's be intentional.
Yes.
Primetime Sports Cardz, and Cardz has a Z at the end. What's up with that?
Correct. So, oh man. And my wife just walks in, right? But
did you hear the door open?
Yes. Yes. But the namesake, yeah, hi, babe. The namesake was important, but I didn't want it to be, you know, Z cards or Jay-Z cards. One of my handles in one of my groups is Jay-Z Rips 312, right? And
just a reminder, listening to Boost Boerne Business here on Boerne Radio, my guest is Jason Zamora.
So the Z was, okay, how do I continue on this Zamora, right? I didn't name my son Jason, which I regret a little bit, not only because we're in October and I like Jason Voorhees, but just Jason because his dad was named Jason.
Right.
And Jay-Z was cool at one time. He's not cool anymore.
Remember?
Yeah. So I said, I got to figure out a way to put a Z into it. So it was going to be sports with the Z cards, but it was just cards with the Z at the end.
Yeah.
Because there's not one.
Well,
and Primetime was not copyrighted by Coach Deion Sanders either.
That's right.
So
brilliant. PrimetimeSportsCardz.com is the website. Put that Z at the end of that phrase as well.
Correct.
All right, let's now give me a virtual tour. I walk in the store. Where should I go first?
So when you walk in the store, the immediate feel you get, we can typically tell really quickly based on the eyes start wondering, the mouth kind of opens up, and it's just because, again, like we talked about, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
One of my buddies even
Or the cardboard boxes.
Correct. Yeah, we do have some of those, but when you walk in to the immediate right, what you'll see, and this is all on the website as well, you'll see a breaking table or just a visiting table where you can come in and sit and talk shop. Behind that table, I got to give them tons of kudos, both of them, Kelly and Matt Mattingly.
Yep.
Right. Big members here in Boerne. Big. Signorama, yeah. Did an amazing collage of Michael Jordan. And that's one of a kind. And so that's what you walk into. And then you see these immaculate 14-karat diamond cases filled with cards.
They used to hold diamonds. Now they hold these diamond cards.
Now they hold, yeah. And some would say these are a little bit more valuable. They do fluctuate more in value than a diamond. And then as you pan over to the right, you see these custom-made cubes that showcase all of our, what we call wax, which is all our, you know, hobby boxes and all the cards that you can buy a box of and go back to the table and rip, if we call it. So there's a lot of lingo. You can buy wax, you can rip wax. But
you need to have a gloss page on your website just to explain all that stuff. You know,
glosser.
Yeah, dropping gloss here.
Yeah, but I think, but the biggest thing in all seriousness is the greeting you're going to get that you don't get, or I have never really gotten, with the exception of one store, by the staff. Mm. I mean, sometimes it's a little weird to go up to someone that walks in and just say, "Hey, welcome. My name's Jason. I'm the owner. Let me know if there's something I can do," because you kind of catch them off guard, and it's funny. You can see on people's faces they're not used to that.
Right.
When you stick your hand out and you shake their hand, they're like, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
You know, but it's more of a, we recognize you're here. We're thankful that you're here, and let us know how we can help.
Right.
In the old days, my phone's right here. It's like, hey, welcome in. Let me know if you need anything.
Let me finish eating my chop suey over here.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new stuff's over there. And it's not a pleasant experience.
Right.
So I'm always on my guys in regards to experience.
In my experience, I'll just say this. In Boerne, you don't know who you're talking to.
No.
They could drop $20K on a box like somebody else I know.
Pretty quick. Mm-hmm.
Again, they're located right there in the Napa Oak Shopping Center. We're talking with Jason Zamora with Primetime Sports Cardz. Now, are the helmets that you have on display there, are they for sale or is that your collection?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. So initially, one of the biggest fears I had, and Samantha would tell you this as well, was this place has to look a certain way day one, right? And I think that's what they call like OCD, maybe. But I don't know. I'm sure she would diagnose me. But at the same time, there was a certain thing I wanted ready just for our soft opening. One of my team members, Bobby, that works there, had a relationship with a memorabilia broker that travels the country for a living, buying and selling and trading helmets. So I literally asked Bobby, I said, Bobby, can I get this guy's cell phone? He's like, well, yeah. I said, I hope he will let me borrow some helmets. So I remember getting on a 3-way call with this guy. And his name's Omar, great guy. And I'm like, Omar, is there any way that I could borrow 11 helmets? And he was like, well, what is it for? I'm like, well, I have a sports card shop and we're going to have a soft opening and I want to have these teams. Obviously, I'm a Falcon fan, so every helmet that's in there is Falcons, right? Or A&M, sorry, Longhorns. But he calls back and he's like, yeah. And so, again, it's just another one of those things and doors that open based on the location, the questions, I need the sign and all of that. So, yes. Long answer to a short question. Yes, they are for sale. Okay. And the cool thing about what we have them for is to provide those to various collectors. And we've had amazing stories with those. Husbands have gotten promotions and had birthdays to where wives have come in and bought them and surprised them and they cried and they just left reviews and all of that. But if someone comes in and they're just not into cards, but they're like, oh my God, that's an amazing, Joe Burrow helmet.
Yeah.
Can you get me one? Or, we have an amazing Earl Campbell in there right now. And I know we're kind of in Aggie land, but there's a lot of Earl Campbell fans. So if they're looking for that, we can definitely do that as well. But it does add to the deco as well.
So is it possible that I can give you my want list, what I'm hunting for?
Yes.
And then you'll do the legwork maybe?
100%. That's what it's all about. Because what happens too is when you come in there, and this is just, part of it, if I ask your name and get your information, I'm not doing that to add you to a mailing list. What I am doing is to make sure that I know who you like and you collect. Because part of the store is not just coming in and buying. A lot of the store is trading and selling. And when you come in, like we have this father and son, they come in all the time. His name's Danny, actually. Huge Buffalo Bills fans. His son loves Keon Coleman, and he's a rookie receiver for the Bills. He told me flat out, any Keon Coleman card that comes in here, I want it.
Yeah.
Well, I took his information down, and lo and behold, the Keon Coleman comes in, and he comes over and he buys it. So we make that connection as well. So even if we don't have what you're looking for, we are interested to know what you're looking for. And that doesn't really happen a lot of places. It's like, this is what we have, take it or leave it. And, if you come back, great. If you don't, it's no big deal.
You told me earlier that you just like doing the business. You, again, Live Oak Investors, that's what you do. You're managing your own company. One, you're helping people manage their money, et cetera. And then you do a card shop thing. What do you just love about it?
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the interactions and the conversations that you have in a store are obviously not possible if you're doing this online. And if you go to COVID and look about a year or two after when this hobby really exploded, you and I could do very well if we had an online card shop.
Sure.
That's not what I wanted to do. And I can tell already in just a little over 30 days, when people come in and talk and share what they're sharing with me, it's not rehearsed. It's genuine feelings and thoughts and memories of their experience. And who am I to hear that? But because we have this atmosphere that invites those people in, you do get to witness that. And the same thing with managing money. A lot of these cards are like stocks, right? They do go up and down with value, but the people and the experience doesn't change. And I think, I often think about the connection, because sometimes it feels like I'm just running in the phone booth and changing from a money manager to a card shop owner, but it is very much about people and giving them, like we do at Live Oak, an experience that's very personal. And then at the same time, when they come into the card shop, a feeling that they've never had before.
All right. So you're making memories for people too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Well, let's put a big bow on this thing. Again, tell us where you're at, and then please invite our listeners to come see you.
All right.
When are you open?
All right. So we are open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We open at 11 and we close at 6.
Good.
And on Sundays, we do appreciate the Sabbath, but we are open from 12 to 4. So after church, a lot of kids and families come in. We do have the games on from 12 to 4, so you can catch your favorite team playing there. And we are online. We will have an online site coming up to where you can actually buy the cards online and pick them up in the store. But we are located in the brand new Napa Oak Shopping Center, 27650 IH10, Suite 106. And yeah, come by. We'd love to have you.
And you might actually get to meet the owner, Jason Zamora.
I probably will be there on the weekends, yes.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you're going to probably get to meet my kids. You're going to probably get to meet my wife, which, by the way, I would say, and I have to give her props, this venture of running a business is not possible by one man.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I have to give her all the glory with that because it requires support.
No joke.
And you know that.
Same thing with the radio station.
Correct.
My wife, if it wasn't for my wife saying, go pursue your dream, let's go.
Correct.
Then God bless us. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
So, yes, we wanted to bring you something that you never had here before. We're glad that we were one of the first, if not the first, to do that. And it will not be an experience that we take for granted nor let use. So, please come by and let us know how we can help and enjoy the hobby.
Primetime Sports Cardz, Primetime Sports Cardz with a Z at the end.com. Jason Zamora, we'll see you on the radio.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Boost Boerne Business here on Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM.